After creating the HOMR program, IFI suddenly realized many qualified buyers were left out of the program because of uncooperative lenders who simply wanted to profit on a short sale. Len Babbit and James Nave, top executives with IFI, discuss the evolution of HOMR Plus, making sure IFI is able to help all qualified homeowners.
HOMR Plus is more of an entire mortgage management program. And what that means is that the homeowner will give IFI control of the property. And that comes through a revocable trust, which will allow the homeowner to have beneficial interest of the property the entire time. This isn't a trust that someone is signing away their home. It's a revocable trust, similar to a family trust that other legal measures have used in the past. A rental agreement is entered, and the homeowner is now paying rent, and the Investors Finance Inc. will now manage that mortgage from start to finish. We will take separate measures, whether it's a legal action against the lender, whether it's the note purchase, the standard HOMR that we've done before, or even a short sale where we actually acquire the property through a short payoff from the lender.
I think our clients really have this avenue because in some cases the banks are ready to take action and foreclose on these properties. We have to look at available options to get in there and actually take this property from the bank to salvage it for our clients, whatever means possible. HOMR Plus gives us that availability. Our investors sat down at a table, the management team at IFI sat down and said, how can we do whatever we have to do to save this home for the client? And I think what you'll find is most people have an emotional attachment to the home, not understanding that it's an asset and we have to look at it more towards retirement. They want to save that house however they have to do it. With the investors, with the management team at IFI, this plan provides the action plan for that mode to get that house saved for the client, in which they then can initiate making payments to IFI while we hold the note on that title, allow them to regain the stature of owning that home, whether they refinance it back from us or in a due amount of time it gets transferred back to them. And this program has been very beneficial for those clients. In some cases, we're able to buy the note, and if we're not able to do that, we have to have an alternative method for our clients, and that's what HOMR Plus has really been beneficial in.
As I mentioned, the lender dictated this, and what I mean by that is they are not willing in certain cases to sell us the note, because maybe there's an incentive for them from the government to receive some of these bailout hundreds of millions of dollars that have been allocated.
Most investors that want to buy a house on a short sale are looking to flip the property or are looking to lease it out at a very escalated rate, and they're not willing to look at the existing client who already owns the ownership of that home and keep them in that house. We've come up with a devised plan that really allows this homeowner who may have lost the house through foreclosure, the bank's not willing to work with them, to get in there and actually take ownership of the house, let our clients sustain livability within that home, making normal regulated payments, and knowing how the lending world is today. I would think we all would agree that it's very difficult to get a loan if you're going to purchase a home. It's very difficult to refinance a home, mainly because of all the laws that have been put in place since back in 1969 that says, hey, if a bank forecloses on a house, they have to either unload that liability or they have to hold so much in their reserves that they cannot lend out new money. So within this program, if the clients have the availability to get that purchase or that house back through a refinance, through FHA, VA, any of the government subsidized programs, wonderful. We actually influence that. Get it back as fast as you can from our investor. But if it's physically impossible for them to do so because of the lending market, because of the banking industry, through a period of time, it will revert back to them because they've made on-time payments, they've showed that they want and have an interest for this house, and our investors' end-all goal is not to just hold on to this asset. Get it back to the client. Help bring down the values of the housing market to where they're supposed to be so that people can actually qualify for new loans. And that's really where HOMR Plus has become an advantage. I think clients in this market are scared and vulnerable, and with this program, it gives them an opportunity to say, hey, I can make this payment based on fair market value. I can afford this. I can make it every month on time. And with that, we reward them. Hey, our investor says, great. Look, we held your note for a period of time. You weren't able to secure financing. Let us give that house right back to you. And that's what we've done. So this program really is kind of If you look at all the other investor groups out there and people that are buying homes, flipping them, we've taken a completely different approach.
The American government has bailed out the large lenders and the large insurance companies, and they have not bailed out the American people. Investors Finance Inc. is here to bail out the American people. And this program is really a bailout for the American families. And the steps for that program are pretty simple. What we do first is take in a preliminary application. And it's got some basic financial information, income documentation, expense documentation. We need to understand what you're making each month, what's coming into the household, and what's going out. We are not using in our calculation credit card payments and other outside payments that a lot of people unfortunately are not making at this time. We are really taking the core housing expense versus gross income. What we want to do is see what this home is worth. From that, we can go on to the second step, which is really seeing how much you make and what a feasible payment is. Through a very simple calculation, we can determine if you can afford this house at current market value.
So we will initiate them making a payment to IFI under a lease. And the lease is that we are going to take on that property. We're going to take on the debt of that property, being that it's upside down. And at that point, we're going to fight off any foreclosure. We're going to file legal litigation to stop any foreclosure. All in the interim, they're making their new lease payment based on fair market value. After they can show that they can afford that payment and make payment history, we're going to be negotiating with the bank to purchase that home, whether it's through purchasing the note or whether it's to buy it on a short sale with our investors' money. With our investors' money, once we secure that note, then we lead into stage 2.
The most important aspect of HOMR Plus is that there's no fee to the consumer. There's no upfront fee to the consumer. And recently, over the last 2 to 3 years, we have seen basically a nightmare of these loan modification companies that were taking anywhere from $1,500 up to $4,000 and $5,000 as an advance fee for services prior to being rendered. Several laws, including here in California, Senate Bill 94 was passed to eliminate these companies from taking an advance fee. IFI does not have an upfront fee at all. It's already difficult enough for someone to come up with $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 before services are being rendered. The reality is people are struggling to make the monthly obligation that they have. We're not going to ask for additional money out of their pocket.
We understand that you may think about it, sit down with your husband, your wife, and realize this payment may not be affordable even at the reduced principal balance owed on that house. The client hasn't spent $1 looking at the evaluation process. If they decide they don't want to move forward, they haven't wasted any money, but they've got a sincere value of what that property is really worth. It gives them peace of mind, gives them security in knowing what the value is worth, and can I really afford this house in this present economy?
If you're in foreclosure due to a toxic adjustable rate mortgage, if you're employed, if you owe more than your home is worth, call IFI now. It costs nothing to find out if we can help. Investors Finance, your personal private investor.